Alright, so I decided in my infinite wisdom to do the ASMR video game update with vertical video because it's, I know it would be super easy to just turn my phone to the side, but this is different. So I wanted to show off some of the physical stuff first that I had for these video game updates here. Also, a quick thing, I probably am going to start doing the video game updates like probably just yearly instead of doing it, multiple times a year, because I always do like, I feel like I always do a couple earlier in the year and then I just kind of slack off until it's the end. So I might as well just keep track and show you all the stuff at the end. Seems to make more sense, but that way I'll also be more motivated to do other kinds of ASMR videos instead of just throwing another game collection update out. So let me know what you feel about that. I guess it's not set in stone, but that's my plan anyways. But let's start with the physical stuff here. One of the things I really want to show is this. There's a Funko Pop of Sonic. Now, I've already expressed I'm not a big fan of Funko Pops. I guess this one looks okay. Also comes with a little Chow. The Hero Chow. And the thing is, I've had this since I think Easter, and I think I did a few updates, and I was like, oh man, I just keep forgetting that I haven't shown this yet. So I really wanted to finally be like, hey, see, I have it. I don't know where to put it. I don't want to keep it in the box because the box is actually kind of big. I'm not sure how the Chow will hang out. Oh, does it have a stand? Yeah, it'll be fine. So, yeah, but I do have that. So I may try to find a spot for that, but I feel like I need to really rethink all my shelf space in general. I also was randomly gifted a Minecraft movie. I've heard good things, but like many of my other video game movies, I haven't found time to watch it. And you're like, well, how do you not have time to watch it if you're making ASMR videos and all this other stuff? I've been playing a lot of games, so I haven't had time to do a whole lot of other things. That's really why reading is impossible, because I have a stack of like DVDs that I want to hit, and I can't imagine hitting a book when I'm gaming this much and then trying to get to these desperately. So I will watch that eventually, though. Another thing I've had for a while, I may have shown this before, but I think it might have been like last Christmas or something. I got this Super Mario Light. This is where the vertical video doesn't do me a whole lot of justice. It's not like crazy bright right now, just because I have had it on, so the batteries are a little low, I think. But it's over there, and then you've got this mode where it just kind of pulses to different things. I'll kind of switch over into, now it's on that one, the mushroom. This is a sound activated thing, but it seems to only activate if you're right next to it. Touching the button seems to make it go. Touching the thing itself does, but I feel like it has to be pretty loud for it to pick anything else up. So we'll just kind of let that do its thing. In fact, you know what? I'll let it pulse over there. We'll just kind of have it as part of the backdrop for a couple minutes and kill the battery more. I got Gex trilogy. Still bummed that they did not bother to call this something cool like the Gex rerun trilogy. I think that would have been better, personally. I've never played the first Gex, so I kind of wanted to get it for that, and I like N64 games. I was curious if anybody would like these, because I think these are kind of I played Gex Enter the Gecko and Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko, both on the Nintendo 64. So I know they're not great, and so I wonder, it's no one, who was really being like, hey, I really miss Gex, So see, and they even say on the back here, but these aren't just reruns, okay? But why didn't you call it? Is that why they didn't call it that? Whatever. So I'm sure it's fine. They maybe make it control a bit better or something, but the original Gex games were nothing amazing, and I don't, Gex was a character that was mildly popular from like the mid '90s to the late '90s. I don't know why they thought that was, necessary to do, but okay. It was a little late for summer, but I did end up getting the next Shantae swimsuit special for 2025. And there's plastic on it because I haven't actually opened this and looked at it yet. This is the cover I chose. There are many covers, but this one is mine. For reasons. I'm a very scientific person. That's how I chose it. Also, this showed up, which is a physical, like, strategy guide thing here. It's a hardcover and everything of Shantae. Like the first Shantae, which honestly would be helpful for like maps and things. So that's pretty cool. So I did order that. I'm probably going to cut down on ordering every Shantae thing ever. I need to kind of stop because I'm running out of space for things. But those are a couple more Shantae things that I got because I have no self-control. I also got a new N64 hat because my other one was looking a bit shoddy. And I'm sure this one's going to look bad because this black is probably going to show sweat right away. The top's going to show dirt really easily. In fact, the top might show it too. So this isn't going to be in amazing condition for long, I don't imagine, if I actually start wearing it. But my other one was getting kind of bad, so I thought I would replace it with this. As well as I got, as an early Christmas present, I got Turok 2, Seeds of Evil on N64. A game I used to have. And this was really good because I needed it for testing purposes, which kind of brings us over to over here. We have, yes, the Analog 3D. I got this. It picks up dust very easily. It'll quickly look like it's an old system in no time. I got this. I pre-ordered it however long ago, and now I finally have it, and I've been testing it. So I'm sure that video's not out yet. I've been working on this. So Turok 2 was something I tested for like, I guess I should explain this if you don't know. The Analog 3D is basically like, this is a replacement N64. It's a more modern one that could play on 4K monitors. Not that is, but like my main TV is, I play on there. It's mainly where I'm going to use it. And essentially, it can play these games in up to 4K, but it puts filters on them in a way that makes them look like they're being played on old televisions. You can also set it to like a clean display as well if you want it to look as sharp as possible. There's a lot of options for tweaking the displays. It can do like overclocking stuff. That's where I got Turok 2 was a really, really good thing to test overclocking. I've done a Let's Play of Banjo-Kazooie, so I look forward to episodes of that coming out. Did a full playthrough of that to test it out. And I tested all my games. Only Space Station Silicon Valley doesn't work. I don't know. There's a whole lot of things about this that, like, it's really cool and everything, and I have a video coming. That's also coming out early next year. So, look forward to that if you're curious about this system. I worked pretty hard on that video. Put lots of hours into just, like, trying to get all this footage and lining it up and trying to get it to, like, be informative and interesting and, like, look decent. So hopefully that video does well, because I'm not someone who was, like, sent a review unit, not someone who is getting paid to do YouTube, so hopefully that's a helpful thing. Also just looks pretty nice sitting here. I like it. So I got a couple things to do on that yet as well, but it's going. And I've also got over here the controller that is made for it by 8BitDo, the 64 Bluetooth controller, which is surprisingly good. The stick is calibrated very, very well, so it just it plays like you can actually do the quick movements and also these slow sneaking movements, or like a little bit of aiming and stuff you need to do with that. The buttons all feel really, really good. Triggers are nice and everything. It kind of has almost like a Switch Pro controller kind of like feel ergonomically and heft wise to it. So this controller was surprisingly good. Got rumble. They can do memory pack stuff with it. It's cool. Sorry I hit that. It's probably loud. Oops. I'm doing this early in the morning in the wee hours of the morning at the it's near the end of the month, so I needed to kind of get this out, which is also why I was lazy about this. This thing is this thing is that it's the Retro Time and the 64 adapter by Blue Retro, and so I got this to plug into here, and you can sync other controllers to it. You could use it with a real N64 as well, but the idea is that basically you just sync. I mainly got it so I could sync up my Nintendo Switch Online controller, and then use that with this. Not that you wouldn't necessarily need to, but I was curious, and I liked the idea of the option. I'm obviously a huge N64 fan, so I was all in on getting a bunch of stupid stuff for this. So I probably overpaid for that. It was like $50 when I included shipping, but and I'm probably not going to use it that much because I can use regular controllers and other things as well, but it's still cool to have. I definitely did a lot of stuff over here. Also, that's my capture card back here that I used to capture that stuff. So, I don't know if that is interesting. I am looking into getting a different capture card, but I haven't yet. So everything I got was 1080p 60 still. But what else? Oh, I think I also was going to show off over here quick where the lighting isn't worse, but the phone is picking it up pretty good. My Sega Genesis Mini is not new, but I've been also there's Marina over there. Yay. But I've been playing. I just beat Phantasy Star 4 on there. I'd played some Landstalkers. When I did No Nintendo November, this is what I played. I did this. I really only got 2 games in, so I left a few games kind of on the back burner while I did that, and then we'll see if I come back to Pokemon Legends Arceus or anything, But that was really cool. I've been really enjoying this. I also was doing Destroy D-Pad December as a follow-up thing. I've been posting daily both on Fuse and on Instagram. And so, as part of that, I was trying to test out all the D-pads, all these different controllers. It was a D-pad a day, basically. And, I ended up playing a bunch of games for that. So, this is one of the controllers I had talked about. So that kind of reminded me of that. Also, as far as watching stuff, I did get through the first disc of this. I do have a lot more to go to catch up and start watching the Orange Island stuff that I haven't seen in a very long time. It's not been as long since I've seen these, but so far Pokemon is still enjoyable, so that's good. Then I think we're over to the book now, where I've logged everything, and let's just get it out of the way right away if you're curious. The totals here. I, this year, apparently have obtained 31 games. I played 42, sort of. I'll explain that when we get into it here. I've got 28 that I beat and 29 that I reviewed. So that's actually a lot for me, I think. I think I did pretty good. I didn't realize I did that many, but that's awesome. It's a pretty good year for gaming in that sense as well. So looking at this, for a bit of a breakdown here, and I know some of these we looked at anyways, but just for some highlights here, Sea of Stars was one that I got as a gift late Christmas. So I think I got it for Christmas and didn't see it on Steam until after, so I downloaded it after, so it would be early this year, and I started playing it, and then I just petered out, and I'm like, I don't think I'm playing it anymore. So if I come back to it, I will be, I will be restarting it. So that's a bit of an unfortunate one that I forgot about because it was so long ago. It almost feels like it wasn't this year at all. And then the gigantic Call of Duty wall of stuff where basically for most of these I didn't have them yet. So I bought them and then I played them and then I reviewed them. That's why this page looks really good because I did the thing this year. One of my big things was to stop just buying games just because they're on sale. I'm I might play that at some point. So to kind of counteract that, I got, I'm like, well, I want to play this now. And so a lot of these Call of Duty games weren't on sale even, and I still just bought them because I was going to play them right away, and I did. And that's a pretty good way to do it because then you're not just wasting money on someday that may never come. You're spending more money, but you're playing it right away, and you can see if it's worth the money you paid for it. Then over here, oh yeah, Power Wash Simulator was a notable one. I mean, back here we had Doom plus Doom 2 was pretty notable too, as just being an awesome like package of content, and then doing the new episode. I will also say that it's coming out. I did the Doom plus Doom 2 stuff that I hadn't played before. I streamed that. The streams are no longer up because I am no longer streaming. And if you're curious about that, basically, I was going to, well, basically I decided I'm going to quit streaming after this because it was, I got very angry during this. And it kind of punctuated, earlier in the year I said I'm going to take a break from streaming and like scale it back, and it kind of just turned into me not streaming for months. And then I started I did this as a kind of a return to it, and then it just kind of was like all the problems. I have an impermanent setup, so because I can't just go and just like start playing a game right away, most people who stream have a setup where they have like there's their computer and the mic and all their stuff is just there, and so they just kind of like can boot up a game, do a little bit of tweaking that they have to do, and go. I have to set up my computer, my microphone, my lights, and my capture card and everything, and then to kind of leave my setup there while I try to finish streaming the game. And then afterwards I had to take it down because I don't have a good permanent setup for that. I mean, I guess I could kind of try to do it over there with that TV or that monitor, but like it's not great for it. So I usually, even that, I only do stuff temporarily too. It's not like the most amazing place to have a permanent setup, so I just don't have a good, setup for that. Also, hey, as long as we're here, look at my Christmas stuff. Hey. But yeah, I quit streaming. I eventually just decided I'm done after this stream, because like then I have to deal with, also on top of that, all of the headaches of the technical difficulties that every streamer has to deal with, all of the dealing with those issues. I just didn't have that many people watching, or if they did watch, not that many people watched the videos after, and during, not many people chatted, so it just didn't feel like there was much point anymore. It's like, well, people don't want to interact with it live, why do it live? If people don't want to watch, why do it? And so I was kind of like, I'm just going to probably record stuff, like very sparingly record games, just that I play offline, and then edit them into highlights and just upload the highlights because I like the highlights. So for Banjo-Kazooie, we are doing a bit of an exception where I'm going to make that a full Let's Play so people can see what the analog 3D looks like. But I will not be, doing that as a regular thing. I will not be streaming stuff. And I will still make that into a video of highlights as well, but just coming back on that a bit. That is kind of baked into that rant. Anyways, Power Wash Simulator was a game where I'm trying to think of my Game of the Year stuff, and I'm like, Power Wash Simulator was another contender. I mean, I know it didn't come out this year, so it doesn't really count for that either, but like, Power Wash Simulator was one where I really, like, it's the kind of game where you hear about it and it's like, that sounds dumb, right? You're washing stuff. But like, I think you play it for about 5 minutes and you're gonna pretty much figure out immediately if you're just out and it's dumb, or if you're gonna be playing it for the next month. You know what I mean? Like, it's very addictive like that. So it's very nice, relaxing OCD gaming experience, and I really like that. So I am looking forward to playing the sequel this year, hopefully. Then like for the Splatoon stuff, I liked that I ended up doing the Splatoon 10 years later video. That was cool. It actually sparked me to replay Splatoon 2 to just to see, like, oh yeah, Splatoon 2. Because I really thought, like, the big question for me is like, is this worth playing 10 years later, especially without online, and when Splatoon 2 has a very similar kind of campaign. What I found out is that the campaign in the first Splatoon is probably better. I mean, like, I liked it more. It was shorter, but there wasn't as much like grinding, repeating the same levels, and it was much more fast-paced. So the first Splatoon's campaign I thought was better, so I think that made it kind of like stand out in that sense. And then also, since I played through Splatoon 2, I was like, I'm going to retry the Octo expansion, which I always call Big Octo for some reason, but it's not called that. I don't know why I do that. And I went through that, and that was cool to beat that too. So like, I ended up doing a lot more around this review for Splatoon than I thought I would. Also cool stuff here, yeah, 4 swords. I got to do that with Furf. That was fun. I also, that's over on this page, I think. It was on this page? Yeah, Mario Bowser's Fury, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Been doing that Let's Play with Furf. So like, well, I had like just the gameplay of 4 swords, and then we did the review after we played this together, right? We've been doing a Let's Play of Super Mario 3D World, both on mic, and that's been fun to have like a Let's Play like that. I'm still really happy that we have that like as a thing that exists on my channel, so people can like see how we interact and everything. I think it's fun. It makes me happy to have that. So that's also really cool. Oh yeah, I did end up beating the first Call of Duty in a crazy thing of like, I had to play on my Steam Deck and plug in like the third-party dock thing so I could still hold the Steam Deck as like the controller to use all the buttons all around it, and using a community controller layout thing for the Steam Deck to make it play as close to like a console Call of Duty game as possible, because you can't get the first Call of Duty on consoles anymore. And then I had to have that going on the TV, so because the Steam Deck was just too dark of a screen, so I needed that to be able to see in the darker levels. But I managed to beat it. I'll probably never do it again, but I am happy that I managed to do that. And yeah, I blasted through all of the mainline Call of Duty games this year, other than Black Ops 7 that came out not that long ago, and I don't know that I'm going to play that. Unless someone gifts it to me, I probably will not bother with it. I think I'm good. I'd like to also, another guilty thing is I really should beat Shantae and the Seven Sirens, because I started it again, and then I dropped it again. And I feel bad that I did that. I will beat it someday, okay? I will. It's just, for whatever reason, it just hasn't been gripping me the same way it used to, right? I don't want to just push myself to beat it because I should, which is another thing I've been working on. I shouldn't, like, I'm like, the Call of Duty stuff happened pretty naturally, but I didn't want to just be like, you know, like, sometimes like I'll play a game, I'm like, I should play the sequel next because it would make sense to play the sequel, right? Well, sometimes I finish playing a game, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to play the sequel right now. I want to play something else. And so it's probably better to play something else that I want to play rather than forcing myself to play something I should play. That has helped me get through more games and just enjoy my games more. Even if I'm dropping more games too, I'm still like dropping them more than I used to. Getting more done and having more fun with it is probably more important. Yeah, also while we were playing Zelda stuff, I dabbled in A Link to the Past and Minish Cap slightly. I also played a bit of Minish Cap. I'm so curious. I beat the first dungeon and I was like, you know, I feel like this is the part I remember being cool. Is the rest of the game not as good? Let me know in the comments if you know about that. Golden Sun was cool because I did it for the Fuse JRPG June tag. So I just kind of on a whim decided to pick it up and do that and post about it all month, and I ended up playing through it and beating it. And it's another one where perhaps if we do JRPG June again this year on Fuse, another reason to join, I'll probably play the sequel, because that's also, I believe, on the Nintendo Switch Online, so there's that. The Linux gaming tests, this is one of those where it's kind of like, I counted it as playing, and I tested a bunch of games, but I'm counting it as just playing one. So it's not really like a dedicated, I played this game, but I cheesed it into like, okay, well, it was multiple games, but I put it into one. So that was one of the cheesy ones. If you want to take that off, we're going to end up docking like 3 points for stuff like that. So if we docked all those, I would have only played 39 games, which is still a lot. That was a very fun video, just testing out all of the stuff you can do with like this really cheap $250 Linux laptop. So anyway, check that out if you want. That's cool. That was just fun to do. It was a pain to get my games to rework after they were working and then stop working, and there's a lot of stuff that went into messing around with that, but I was still having a lot of fun with that. I probably should take that out and boot it up and see if there's updates and stuff, because it's probably not good to just leave that sitting in my closet now, since however long ago that was. Probably over half a month ago, so. But I didn't. And also, I want to play Shantae Advance here, but I haven't beat the other one yet, so I kind of want to do that first, I think. This one, I think, was a gift. This Artemis Book 1, I believe I was gifted. As well as, like, Vampire Survivors I got gifted before. Vampire Survivors is one I played. Was another one where I did all the stuff, and it was pretty addictive, really fun, like everybody says. I'm surprised the review got that many views on it, because I'm like, didn't everybody already know Vampire Survivors is good? Why did they watch my review? Why did so many people watch my review, in terms of, like, my videos? It did pretty good. I mean, thank you, but, like, I was surprised. But it was another one where I finished doing all the stuff. I'm like, you know what? I am gonna take a break, because there's free DLC I could have gotten. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll wait. And paid DLC. I'm like, no, I'll maybe later when I don't want to burn out on this game. Okay, so in the lead up to playing Yooka-Replaylee, I replayed Yooka-Laylee. I played the Xbox One version, so I did that, and I got a more of an appreciation of Yooka-Laylee when I did this, for some things that maybe took a bit for granted last time I played, originally on Switch. And, like, I've had this connection with this game anyways, too, right? Because, like, essentially, I guess I should preface that. When I was prepping for Yooka-Replaylee, I was like, I want to, is it because I was skeptical. And I was like, why remake the first game again when they could use all of these things they're trying to clean up and change for a sequel? And if they don't do enough, then is it really worth, remaking this one, like, remastering it or whatever? Like, I don't know. Is it just going to be a cheap cleanup, or are they going to do so much? And, like, basically, I feel like there wasn't going to be a middle ground where it's like they changed enough to have it be worth doing a remake, but not enough to make it a sequel instead. So that was kind of my skepticism, was having me check this out to be sure. And also I have the weird connection with Yooka-Laylee in the first place of it's, the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. So I played it on multiple different systems before it actually got to work, so I got to see it, like, in different stages of, like, me being able to actually play it. So yes, it played very, very well on the Xbox One, which was cool. And I think I just kind of appreciated some of, like, the feel of it too. That definitely a lot of things just do really feel like an N64 game, like a successor to that, right? Things I didn't really appreciate, I think, last time I played, really, because I was on the kick of, like, playing actual N64 games that it was based on. I did try, and I reviewed, I guess I didn't, but you see I didn't beat Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair. And part of it was because I wasn't in the mood, also because it was hard. And I'm like, I have thoughts about this. They did a lot of cool things with it, but I think it's going to be too hard for me if I'm struggling on regular levels. And the main thing is that the end level is a big gauntlet of the Impossible Lair. The more stuff you do outside of it, the easier your odds will become for that, but still, it's, like, hard. A lot of people have said it's hard, and I'm not that good anyway, so I really doubted my ability to beat it. So I gave up and decided to review my experiences with it and what I did find out about it while I played. A cool game, but probably not something at least not in the mood for right now, if I'm ever going to do it. And then I just didn't realize that Yooka-Replaylee happened way down here. That's because I think I finished this stuff way faster than I thought I was going to initially. I should have been holding this close the whole time. Look how clear that is. And it's the Xbox Series X version. I have it on the same console because it was all played on the Xbox Series X. And Yooka-Replaylee, like I will say, it was really good. I think that for most people, this is the version you want to play. And especially if you played Yooka-Laylee and you were like, I like it, it's promising, but, like, the camera or the controls or whatever, there's, like, some things that, like, they just needed to fix. Get Yooka-Replaylee, because you will enjoy that. However, unlike most people on the planet, I don't think Yooka-Replaylee is just the better version, that it's just like it totally replaces the original, because it feels more like Super Mario 3D World or like Super Mario Odyssey type of, like, it's very polished, very very fast, you're doing lots of things, but it feels a lot lighter. And it doesn't feel like, the way you're collecting things, the way you're doing things, it doesn't feel like an N64 game. It doesn't feel like Banjo-Kazooie anymore. It feels like something more modern, which is to its credit and its detriment in that regard. So that was the only thing. If you really wanted to have something that felt like an N64 game, like a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie, get the original game. If you want a really fun game, the one that's more playable and everything, get Yooka-Replaylee. I'll put it that way. Also, with all the changes they did, they should have just maybe made Tooka-Laylee. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna still be that guy. But it made me really stretch my critical thinking, my critical eye, critical brain to do this whole thing. And it made me, again, kind of like Splatoon, it made me play all these other stuff, as well. And that was cool. Having games motivate me to play more games is probably a good thing to do. Oh yeah, extra stuff I got Pac-Man World Repack. I got AI, the Sounding Files. I got that to... I will say Pac-Man was I thought this was a 3D platformer, and then I think later I looked and people were saying it wasn't, so I'm I still don't know now, and so if it's not, I'm going to be full dumb that I got this on sale. They had some kind of sale going on for this stuff, but I got AI, the Sounding Files, because my plan was to play it, to talk about it with Furf, and then I still haven't played it, because time is a thing. Pokemon Friends, was it a game? Oh yeah, also I was going to say, Yooka-Replaylee. I'll throw this out here. Pokemon Friends reminded me that Yooka-Replaylee is probably my game of the year, because it came out this year, and it was great. It made me play all these games and appreciate all this stuff and really think about all these things. It just gave me a lot of experiences that kind of came together into one. With, thinking about the game and playing these other games and, enjoying this and whatever. I think this was, probably, in my heart of hearts, my game of the year for this year that actually came out. I think Pokemon Friends is the only other game I played this year that actually came out this year. I feel like I may be the only person that did play it. And stupidly, I've got it both on mobile and Switch. I still only have it marked as one game, because it's the same game. It's just that on Switch, basically, it's the same as if you paid money for the basic pack on mobile. So I wanted to see the experiences of both, and it's bad. It's not like it's horrible or anything, but the puzzles get repetitive pretty quick. Their timers are too short. I don't know. I think that they could have done a lot more with this, and they didn't. There definitely were ways to make this. There are ways to improve it. Maybe they have since then, because I haven't booted it up since. I'm done with it. And judging by the lack of interest, I would imagine most people are done with it as well. I don't think it's the kind of game that will get lots of updates and things. I think it'll probably just fade away as one of those really crappy mobile games that they tried and didn't work. So I would not recommend. Mega Man X4 is pretty good. I'm glad I finally beat it, because I did, what was it right there? Did I put PS? Oh, I see it, because it's the PlayStation version of the game, I see. It's from the Mega Man X Legacy Collection. I did Mega Man X4. I was stuck on the one auto-moving level on the speeder bike thingy. Whatever level that was, I forget which boss that was off the top of my head for some reason. There are many bosses in these games, and I forget. Jet Stingray? I want to say that's it. I did come back after watching the stream highlights of this, or trying to make the stream highlights and stuff, whatever. I'm like, you know what? I think I can do this. And so, this was one I think I had to finish up after I decided I'm not streaming anymore, so I'm not going to come back and finish this. I did the stream highlights. And I was like, I think I can do that. And I did that, and because I was having a bad day when I was originally playing it, I think. So when I came and redid this, it actually wasn't that bad. I didn't get 100% of all the stuff, but I was able to beat it. It was a pretty cool game. Even if they did screw me out of the what am I fighting for scene. It was pretty good. And I started X5, then I pretty much did one level or something, then I paused to do other stuff. I think November ended up kind of creeping up, and well, Yooka-Replaylee happened, and then stuff happened. Okay. I also, in the sales they had going on, I ended up getting Mega Man X Dive offline, because that was like a mobile game they had, and they made an offline version. I'm like, well, if it has all this stuff, I don't have to pay extra and buy stuff for it. I would be interested to play that with controller support and stuff, so I got it on Steam, and I haven't played it, obviously, because I wanted to finish the other X games, but I was on a big streak of playing the X games still. We'll see how fast I can get through X5 and 6 and 7. Wait, are 6, 7, and 8? 5, 6, 7, and 8 also in the collection? I think they are. At least to 7, I don't know. I gotta finish those and stuff, and then eventually I'll get to Mega Man X Dive and check that out. So that was one I bought for someday that I maybe shouldn't have, but it was on sale, and I've been looking at it forever, so I'm not perfect. We saw Gex. I started playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, and did not finish it. It was interesting so far, but I wasn't like super sold on it. And then it was kind of like, oh, now is no Nintendo November. I ran out of time, so I put that on pause and come back. Tried to play Landstalker. I did end up reviewing it, but I didn't beat it. It's a really cool game. The Zelda, but like it's just oh, that's yeah, like I said, it's a Sega Genesis one. These are the 2 Genesis games I played, like I said. And it's just that it's an isometric view where you can only move in diagonals, but you only have cardinal directions on your controller. So if you hit like up, down, left, or right, it'll move diagonally in a way, and it's not consistent, and it's infuriating. It's very, very difficult to control, and it only gets harder and harder to control as things get more difficult, especially with crazy platforming stuff. That's like hard to tell where you're gonna land. So I kind of want to find a Let's Play and just see the rest of this game. I also want to find a Let's Play of Maiden Abyss, Binary Star Falling into Darkness. Yes, that's the name of just one game. I want to find Let's Plays of these to see the rest of them, because they were games that I thought looked really cool, and I wouldn't mind seeing more of them, but I can't stomach playing them anymore myself. So that's something I have marked to do. And Phantasy Star 4, I just reviewed that, like, I put up the review last night as of this recording. I'm recording this on like the 30th of December, so I got it up like last night. Very good. I don't think you need me to say that. I think everybody will if you just look it up and be like, is Phantasy Star 4 good? And people are like, yes, it's good. So if you think it's cool to have like sword and sorcery fantasy stuff mixed with sci-fi tech and all that, like, you think that sounds like a cool thing, and you like classic style RPGs, check it out. My cheesy one with my analog 3D tests, I booted up all my games. Actually, I played a bit of each of them. I played the entire first level of Earthworm Jim 3D. I never played that before, but I didn't list it as a game, so I was very good. I wasn't cheesing on this too much. I'll just put it under 1. I usually played about like a level or something, like some chunk of each game, just to make sure they worked beyond booting up. So like Space Station Silicon Valley is the only game that would freeze up constantly on the analog 3D, but would work fine on my N64. So that's the only oddity I had. Oh, actually, I have another thing to show off out here for this. Don't mind me having crap everywhere on my phone. I got this cable, speaking of that, to capture my N64. I actually was using the N64 over there that I got as a for my birthday, that renewed one. That was the one I used for testing purposes. So that was nice to have hanging out. But I used this to play it on my TV, because it's a modern TV. And this thing's only like $30, and this works surprisingly well and looks better than the analog, or the Super 64 converter that I have, which is right over here as well. So I'll just show that if I can not push it to the back of the thing. Come on. Yeah. This thing is like $150, and it only does 480p, and that does 720. And also it stretches stuff out awkwardly unless you find it exactly have a 4:3 display or can force your display to be in 4:3. It'll try to stretch it out to like a 16:9. Not in a terrible way. It doesn't stretch it out completely, but it looks kind of bad. But I got those. Those are fun. Those are part of my testing as well. It's for the analog 3D stuff. So I did a lot of stuff on there. And also kind of the Destroy D-Pad December stuff, where I tested out all those D-pads as one thing, because I played a bit of some of these games on with 31 different controllers. So I think that constitutes playing a good chunk of a game at least. And then we saw Turok, and then Banjo-Kazooie, where I played it and beat it this year. I've already reviewed it. I'm not going to do that again, but I did that. And also I played my original copy because I have the boxed copy up here. So that's a different copy that I kind of leave in the box, but that's that. As long as we're over here, here's my Zelda decorations as well. For that, I brought the little bulbs out, so that's video game Christmas for you also, right? I also still have not sorted out my Shantae shrine of the shelves, so there's all this kind of stuff sprawled out there. But yeah, these are my totals. This is where we are at the end of the year. And also my Banjo-Kazooie is my actual game of the year if we don't count the game coming out this year, because Banjo-Kazooie is still my favorite game. So that hasn't changed this year. I know, big shock. But I think that's everything. Those are my numbers. Did pretty good this year. I mean, like I say, it was a really good year for gaming. I feel like there's just a lot of stuff that I did that I enjoyed playing. There's lots of stuff that I did that was really good. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention too. With Yooka-Replaylee, another part of making it my actual game of the year, as far as counting towards it coming out this year too. I didn't get 100% in Yooka-Replaylee. I missed out on like the Kartos minecart levels. You have to play them perfectly to get the final Pagey in it. And for the last few of them, I just skipped that one. I got the other Pages, and like, I know what I have to do. I just have to do this thing again flawlessly. I didn't feel like beating my head against the wall to do that. So instead, I decided not to, basically. Just, it's one of those things where basically, I've always had this mentality before, I feel like, where I've kept telling myself that, like, well, it shouldn't matter if I can't do something, I should try to do the rest of the things in the game, right? But it always plays out logically in my head that, like, if I can't get 100%, then I might as well just do the minimum to pass, because, like, nothing else matters between, just enough to win and 100%. It's all the same between there. As far as, like, what you get for it, usually that's true. But I'm like, but shouldn't it just be fun, right? Like, realistically, you win the game just as much in Super Mario Bros. On NES if you go through all the levels versus just warping to the end. But playing through all the levels would be more fun than skipping over the fun game you're playing, right? So, like, with Yooka-Replaylee, I still tried to get everything else I could other than those few Pages that were too hard for me to get, that were just not going to be that fun for me to get. And I still had a blast. So I didn't feel like, oh man, I missed out on something or anything. It was still really fun and satisfying. I mean, keep in mind, most people, I think, like, don't necessarily finish 100% every game that they beat. And a lot of people don't even finish a lot of games that they start. So, like, for real person reviews, I think it's been good to have some more of these games where I didn't, complete them 100%, or I didn't even finish some of them too. And I think Yooka-Replaylee really helped instill that in me to be like, it is still fun and satisfying to do that. It's the proof of this concept I've had in my head, which is motivating me to try and pick up Spyro again. Because I had never played Spyro before, tried the Reignited Trilogy, and got to the auto-flying level, and I couldn't 100% it, and I got discouraged and quit. Maybe it's okay if I go back now and just, if I can't do the auto-flying level, just skip it and go to the next thing. Yeah, so it's been a really, really good year for gaming. I think giving up on streaming has given me more time to just play my games at my own leisure when I want to play them, and it's been fun. I've really enjoyed the stuff that I've been playing and talking about and thinking about. doing reviews and all this. That's still been really fun. As far as extra gaming stuff, again, you're going to be seeing in the next year already. You're going to have the Banjo-Kazooie Let's Play coming out. There's going to be the probably a lot more N64 game reviews coming out as well. And a few more highlights. The Doom plus Doom 2 highlights, the Doom 3 highlights will be coming, and the big one is the analog 3D video. I will be reviewing this bad boy. This is going to be probably the thing I put out early 2026, and I'm going to leave it as my main video for a while, just so people can watch it. So I really encourage you to watch that video when it comes out, if you want to help support me with stuff. Because I don't, like I said, my channel is not monetized or anything. This is the most work I put into a video in years. Not that it's like a crazy amount of work to put in, but I've been doing it. A quick shout out to the Rattly fans you probably can hear in the background all the time. But yeah, that's I think that's where we're at. So hopefully my talking and everything here was okay, and this was interesting. And like I said, yeah, let me know also what you feel about just do a yearly ASMR video game update, and then try to get other kinds of ASMR videos out. Hopefully one a month is my goal. I'm going to try to stick to that as well. But for gaming stuff, you're probably going to see more N64 reviews. That's kind of my main thing. I want to try to tackle all my games here and look at some of the Nintendo Switch Online stuff and all that good stuff. So hopefully that, I don't think I missed anything this time either. So yeah, it's been cool. And let me know, what's your game of the year? What gaming stuff that you want to talk about, that important moments in gaming this year, stuff you just want to talk about, whatever. Share that in the comments. We can have some back and forth. That'll be fun. I can talk about games all day. So yeah. And okay, now I think that's actually it for real. Okay. Have a great year.